Alrighty guys, welcome back to another American Reacts. We are looking at Australian V8 supercars and why you should watch the Bathurst 1000. I'm pretty intrigued by this. Even as an American, I have heard of Bathurst. Reason being is just probably in automotive news over the years, and also playing video games. Obviously growing up loving cars, playing racing video games. I remember driving this track in video games, and it's a pretty challenging course. Has some interesting turns, some narrow sections, and very high-speed straights, if I remember right. But I'm a big NASCAR fan, and basically any motorsports, but, you know, obviously catered to America because I live here, so it's easiest for me to access. And I've been to the Milwaukee Mile, been to Chicagoland, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, so I've been to races in real life, and of course watched them on TV as well. So let's get right into this. I'm pretty excited to learn about these. And this is from Josh Revel. Looks like an excellent channel. Make sure and check it out. He did this video, and I'm excited to see it. Let's go.
Throw down a list of the great races and you'll no doubt get the likes of the Indy 500 and 24 Hour of Le Mans. But the one race that I look forward to is one that takes place on a hill in the middle of the worst state in Australia. Look, I'm sorry, Mr. Wells, but you have this, and this. But getting back on track here, the race in question is the Bogan Festival, that is the Bathurst 1000, and will serve as the final round of this year's Supercars Championship. Now, I'm sure some of you will be wondering how this could compare with the likes of the Indy 500, Daytona 500, or the 24 Hour Le Mans. Well, sit down if you aren't already, and let me give you the skinny.
Alright, I am sitting down already. Cool. Bathurst.
In 1960, the Light Car Club of Australia organised a race called the Armstrong 500, which was being held at the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit over 500 miles with standard production cars. It was divided into classes based on engine capacity, or price, or the customer's hair colour, but by 1962, the track surface was falling apart like Joe Soward in a heatwave, and thus the race needed a new home, and they found it at the Mount Panorama circuit in Bathurst, New South Wales. The 3.9 mile circuit hosted its first event in 1963. The race was extended from 500 miles to 1,000 kilometers in 1973, and also served as the 8th round of the World Touring Car Championship back in 1987. Nowadays, the 1,000 kilometer event is run as part of the popular Supercars Championship that is held throughout Australasia. Known as the Great Race down in this part of the world, this event has seen some insane races and some spectacular moments in its history, and there is
Gotta say, that's a long race, right? That is hella endurance. Hard on the car, hard on the driver. And right off the bat, too, these cars look sick, man. They look awesome. Very sleek. You know, NASCARs have gotten so sleek over the years, but these still seem more like what NASCAR should be. If I analyze this right, I believe these still are based off of stock vehicles, just heavily modified, right? Whereas NASCAR is like such a joke, is so far from being what it's supposed to represent. You know, obviously it's not a Camry or a Camaro, it's way different.
Every reason why you should be watching this event. So I'm going to provide a rundown of this year's event and convince you as to why this is the great race. So as I've mentioned before, the race is held at the Mount Panorama circuit at Bathurst.
It's a cool angle there, huh?
This is regarded as one of the best racetracks in the world, and having made the trip to the venue over the last couple of years, there's good reason for it. The first turn drivers have to negotiate is Hell Corner. It's easy to get it wrong here, and if you do, you're going to have a real bad time. It's also vital to get a good exit out of this corner for a good run up Mountain Straight. The second longest...
I do remember that. Not that this is like any relation to real life, like not a pro at all, but I remember from the video games, some of these turns were tricky. They didn't look bad until you were in them, and then you're like, whoa, I just ran into the wall or I just spun out. They were deceiving, and I remember going uphill. That was pretty crazy. I mean, you're going like really high up, and it's kind of weird, right? You're usually not climbing a massive hill on a racetrack.
Straight on the circuit. The cars will become slightly airborne over the hump before heading into the negatively cambered Griffin's Bend.
Wow.
But be careful not to stray too far offline here, otherwise you're gonna smack. Running up the hill, the next series of corners is at the cutting, which has a steep 1 in 6 gradient exit, and trust me, it's a bastard to walk up. But with the cars, it's even more precarious, as any wrong footing will lead to big problems.
Oh man.
That incident? Well, to explain what happened here, I've drafted in an Aussie to give you the lowdown.
Seriously, a lot can happen over the course of 1,000 kilometers. And a perfect example of this was in 2005.
Looks like Marcos Ambrose.
Two drivers would quite literally go head to head, but outside of the car. The two drivers being Marcus Ambrose and Greg Murphy would collide
No kidding.
on lap 144 and leave behind what
Nice.
looked like a 8-cylinder car park behind them. Ambrose was ahead of Murphy of the exit of Griffin's, but quickly ended up sideways after being tagged by Murphy.
Oh,
Well,
jeez.
depending on how you look at
you see it?
Ambrose's car would then mount the barrier and almost look like it was going to fall over the other side into the bushland. After the
Dirty,
two cars
dirty.
came to a stop, Murphy stood in front of his car as Ambrose got out and made his charge towards him.
Shit's about to go down
Taking off
now.
His helmet, then his balaclava, and
Uh-oh.
of course, his gloves. The two drivers had some friendly words.
Yeah,
pointed
sure they
fingers,
did.
And yelled at each other like two blokes having a disagreement at the pub. The legend of this moment will always be in my memory. Two blokes wanting to just beat the living daylights out of each other on a mountain out in the middle of nowhere in New South Wales. This to me is Australian motorsport in its prime.
Thank you very much, Gio, for
Nice.
coming along. So coming out of the cutting, we're into Reed Park, which for the first section of that could be rather uneventful. However, the second right turn, you kinda need to get that right, otherwise you're in for a big ass crash.
Ooh.
But if you do manage to crash at this section of the track, at least you'll be at peace of mind knowing that you're at the top of the mountain and with the fine folk that camp at this section of the track.
Dang.
The next section of the track
Crazy
is called
party
Solomon
time
Park,
there.
and this is where the track begins to edge a little more on the scary side. In fact, with it comes the shortest horror story in motor racing history, Wide at the Great. Why is this scary?
What?
Well,
Oh, damn.
Could not steer the car. Quick up Craig Loud, Zinger replay. Steve Johnson had just got Taylor. It just got away from
Oh,
him.
jeez. Oh, my God. Hard hits. Hard hits. Oh!
going on from there, the cars will scream through McPhillamy Park.
Oh
a fast
my
section of the
God.
track with a panoramic view across Brock's skyline that reminds you how bloody high you are. So imagine if Frank Montagny was driving. Then we begin to run down the hill, beginning with the S's.
The
It's
S's.
crucial that you slow down enough through this section, otherwise
Yeah.
you're going to learn the hard way that car versus will often
Oh
leads to
my
big ouch.
God,
Then
that
there's
was
the
bad.
dipper, basically the Aussie version of the corkscrew, only with
Ah.
this one there's no runoffs, and it's
That does look-
pretty scary. Coming out of the
That does look
dipper,
like a harder version of the corkscrew at Laguna Seca, huh? Because Laguna Seca, you're still wide open. You have huge sand barriers before you even see a wall. That is pretty tight.
you then make the approach
No room for
towards
error.
Forest Elbow, which is a prime overtaking opportunity, provided you do it right, before making the long run down Conrod Straight. Here the cars get close to or at 300 kilometers an hour. The road rises and falls away as the
That's
cars
fast.
build up speed. For the cars behind, it's an opportunity to get into the draft and prepare for another move at the chase, which is another
Dang.
great opportunity for passing. The one thing you don't want at this part of the track is a tyre failure. But guess what? That's happened here before.
Oh my
Exiting the chase leads you to the final corner.
That'd
at
be hella
Orange.
bad,
A
man.
90-degree corner, you say? Easy, you reckon? Yeah, tell that to Alexander
90-degree
Rossi.
corner?
And therein is a lap of
Jeez.
Mount Panorama, but really, me explaining it doesn't do justice. You need to witness these cars try and put 650 horsepower to the ground on
Those
a track
cars are
barely
sick,
wide enough
man.
for luge racing. As for the teams and drivers, if you're unfamiliar with any of these cats, I'll give you the skinny on some drivers of note. There is Scott McLaughlin, 3-time Supercars champion and the defending Bathurst 1000 winner. Craig
Nice.
Lowndes, 7-time winner on the mountain and 3-time Supercars champion. Jamie Whincup, 7-time Supercars champion and 4-time winner of the Great Race. In fact, overall, there are 11 people on the grid who have won the Bathurst 1000 race in the past, although there will be
Wow.
plenty of people hungry for their first Bathurst title, including Toyota Racing Series champion Thomas Randall, British Formula 4 champion Scott Pye, Blancpain GT Series and Supercars champion Shane Van Gisbergen, Japan F3 champion and Jaguar F1 test driver James
Wow.
Courtney, and Brody Kostecki, who is... On a serious note, this guy's f***ing fast. The grid is sorted through a qualifying format where
man.
11th place
This
downwards
guy's got a
is
good sense
decided
of
through the
humor, man.
first qualifying session, while the top 10 are decided in a one-lap shootout, which is one of
Wow.
the more spectacular parts of not just the weekend, but the entire season of Supercars racing.
Wow, that's
Pole position
cool.
is not too bad, although not really vital. Since 1997, there have only been 5 occasions where the pole sitter took victory at the end of the day. So there is a
Right.
good chance that the fastest car on Saturday will not claim the Peter Brock Trophy on Sunday. So this year's
Gotcha.
race starts at 11:30 a.m. Aussie time on the 18th of October. And I beg and plead
Hey,
with
all right,
anyone
18th of October? Well, I like it. That is my birthday. Yeah, no lie. 18th of October, look at that. All right. Well, That's another reason to like that race.
Time on the 18th of October.
Damn right.
I beg and plead with anyone unfamiliar with this race to give it a watch. Or don't, and I could just go f myself. Or perhaps there are some people viewing this who have watched the race. What are your memories of
have
this
not.
race? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like this video and subscribe. And always remember, keep it respectful, be wholesome, don't be a manus, and as always, I'll see you all later.
Nice. What a good video, man. Good production. Everything was cool. He had some good jokes in there. Why should you watch the Bathurst? I think you should. He convinced me. I'm pretty easy. I like cars. I like anything racing. And what's not to like? I mean, I would like to know more about these, so that was a good introduction. And certainly I'm going to need your guys' help down below. Please, if you could, recommend some more Australian Supercar series videos that I can watch from anyone. Some good videos that I can react to. These look awesome. I have heard over the years, like, the loose comparison of, V8 Supercars versus NASCAR, more so that just, people from either series might enjoy the other series watching it. And I think that sounds feasible to me. NASCAR is awesome, but, it also has its flaws, and it's, in my opinion, gone downhill a little bit lately. So I don't watch it as much as I used to. I used to watch it every week for years, and now I don't watch it quite as often the last couple years. But yeah, tell me about these cars if you know anything about them. So what are some basic, league specs? Like, do they all have to run the same size motor? What manufacturers are in it? Is it just Ford and like Holden? I think Holden's part of GM, right? So Chevy here, Holden there. And, is like Toyota in it? Is Dodge in it? Anyone, let me know. And of course, we'll take a look at the comments real quick. I hear it's pretty good from Supercars. Nice. Someone said, my extended family usually have a bigger celebration watching the coverage of Bathurst than we do for Christmas. Always my favorite time of year. That's awesome. That is awesome, man. Recommend watching Jensen Button doing this track in an F1 car. Fastest lap ever. I would assume it'd be the fastest in an F1 car. But that would be that'd be scary too. That's a hard track. Just from looking at it on here and from my, video game experience, it seems like a very challenging track, but that also makes for some great racing, and that makes it a great spectator sport, right? So when they race at that track, I'm sure it is a blast to watch, and I will certainly this year have to try to watch that. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for watching. Please throw me a thumbs up. I threw them a thumbs up. Josh Revel seems like an awesome guy, awesome channel. And yeah, let me know what I can do more with Australian V8 Supercars. This is just the beginning. I would like to do a lot more with these. So subscribe for a lot more stuff like this. My name is Ian. Thank you for watching IWrocker, and I'll catch you later.